What's up, everybody? My name is Matt Monarch, and I am going to tell you how I became a Splinterlands whale overnight.
Alright guys, it's Toby from Top Crypto here, and today I wanted to share the story of Matt Monarch, an overnight Splinterlands whale. As you've heard, this is his story, and I stumbled across this on YouTube the other week, and it was a Splinterlands video, and I seen it had about 13,000 views. And I was like, "Oof, this is juicy," because not many views for Splinterlands videos. It's a bit of a unknown sort of game, really, in the scheme of YouTube sort of relativity. But nevertheless, an amazing game that has made many millionaires since its inception 3 to 4 years ago. So here we have the story of Matt Monarch.
Profound story. You're not going to believe this. Many of you probably remember me. Well, not yet. I'm kind of a little nervous sharing this little aspect. But many of you are going to remember me in just a little bit. Back in the day, in the Steemit days. This was at the very beginning when Steam monsters just came into effect. I was a big time raw food guy.
The Steam Monsters is Splinterlands, if you guys didn't already know
I
that.
guess you could say I'm still big in the industry. And, people, I got almost banned from YouTube, and all these people were like, "Hey, you got to join Steemit." Like 10 people on my newsletter list. You got to go check it out. So I went and checked it out. And so I went to go check it out. Steemit, I signed up. And at this point in my life, I was rich. I was a millionaire, actually, at the time. Multi-millionaire. Doing extremely well. And I was just messing around with Steam. I didn't even care. I just threw a few $1,000s in just to see what would happen. And then I just started messing around with it. I learned more and more. I learned about the bots. And anyway, I was just messing around in the background. And I learned about the bots, and I decided to do a promotional post on the Steemit blog about Ormus. Are people remembering now? We're still not there yet. I'd use these bots, and this post boosted to the top of the freaking page for 2 weeks. I spent so much money on these stupid bots. I was just messing around. I didn't know it.
So what he's talking about here, guys, the first time I heard this, I wasn't, it kind of went a little bit over the top of my head, but Steemit was the early version of Hive, I guess. It's still around. The team who run Hive, which is one of the blockchains that Splinterlands runs on, they originally were on Steemit, which was a social media platform run on a decentralized blockchain, essentially. There's probably butchering a little bit of the explanation of it there, but in layman's terms, that's basically what Steemit was. So you could post to Steemit, very similar to Hive. It's very, very similar, if not identical. Stories, and then they would get promoted based off very similar to Facebook, likes, etc., or upvoting, and very similar to Facebook or YouTube and things like that. The more likes, the more people get to see your videos. So when he's referring to the bots here, basically there was bots you could use to automatically upvote your stories. So if you set these bots up and just ran them, your story would get likes, and thousands of likes or whatever, millions. I don't know. I'm not it could be hundreds, whatever. I'm not an expert on this, but these bots would obviously vote your story up, and then everyone would see you. Very similar to YouTube. If you're like Mr. Beast, you're going to start, YouTube's going to start recommending Mr. Beast videos to you because he gets an insane amount of views. Same with Joe Rogan and the like. So he's done this and obviously gotten a little bit of attention.
What was happening. And it created this whole entire controversy on the Steemit platform. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell? Like, all these people are yelling at me. However, there was like, I got 80% positive upvotes, and these guys took me in to their secret Discord dungeon. I had no idea what was going on. But while this was going on, like this whole entire post, I changed the entire post with the image of the Ormus that I was trying to sell, and I changed it to Mr. Almond Butter Man. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I did this like post saying, "What's going on here? Like, why I just put $4,000 in? I invested. Like, why are you people like rude to me?" But it was only 20% of people being anyway. So I get invited into this secret Discord dungeon where there's like these whales. There was this Johnny guy who was supported by the whale who did podcasts or something like that. I don't know. But all these people come in. And these whales were crazy. What they would do is like they would just like bring people in and just like they would just like grill them. Like, what's up? What do you think you're doing? Like, it was just crazy. And they brought me in and like took me in. But one of the guys, the main whale, was just like, I was paying money for his bots, so he really liked me. Anyway, so I'm sitting here in this dungeon, like, what the hell is going on? And out of nowhere, like, I wanted to make things right for the whole entire Steemit community because I wanted to be a part of it and do some cool stuff. I had the money, I was doing all this cool stuff, and they came up with this idea. And part of this whole entire dungeon clan in Discord, there was this guy named Agro who started this thing called Steam Monsters 3 years ago. And I'm like, they're like, "Matt, we've got an idea." I'm like, "What is it?" Agro goes, "Look, you buy all these alpha packs off of me, and you just give them away to everybody." And I had money at the time, so I what I literally did was I paid Agro a $1,000 gift card for 700 alpha card packs. And what I was going to do was, for anybody who liked my post, or I was just going to do something cool. I was going to make my post go to the very top with bots again. I was going to pay all this money to do it. And I was just going to be like, everybody gets one free alpha pack. Now, I was a big raw food guru at the time.
All right, so I feel this is an interesting sort of update on his story. So he's hit the top of the Steemit, blockchain or upvote ladder. So everyone's seeing his videos. Apparently, people realized that he'd probably just spent like hundreds of dollars on these bots just upvoting because this random story about almond milk has sort of hit the top of the Steem blockchain, which is heavily used by crypto enthusiasts. So it was, it would have probably sparked some surprise to people to see stories like this hitting the top. Anyhow, he felt that he'd upset the Steemit community and he got brought into the Discord dungeon and met Agro. Now, Agro, if you guys don't know, is the founder or co-founder. I think there was two. Agro and Matt are the two founders, and Agro is the one of the main guys at Steam Monsters, which is now known as Splinterlands. And if you're watching this video, you obviously know a little bit about this game. And they brought him in 3 years ago and offered him to buy 700 Chaos Legion packs for $1,000 so that he would use that. I'm guessing Agro's kind of thinking, well, this guy's getting a lot of attention. Let's use him to spruik Splinterlands at the same time, give the game a little bit more attention, and hopefully that would bring more players to the game. That's how I sort of read this story so far.
I guess you could say I'm no longer a raw foodist, but I was a 100% raw vegan freak, right? Like super freak. And I came down with ulcerative colitis. And I was this type of guy who was like, I'm going to heal naturally. I'm not taking drugs. I should have taken the drugs, the meds, should have healed, would have healed. Since then, I've lost my colon. I almost died 2 times. And right before I was about to give these alpha cards out to everybody, I fell sick to the point of death. I even created a banner that was.
Now, this is an interesting update. You don't see the YouTubers and influencers who are all selling the vegan life, posting stories like this on their Instagram or YouTube. So, ulcerative colitis is a disease of the bowel. I'm very familiar with this because my father struggled with it all through his life, and he nearly died himself. It was kind of probably sounds like a little bit of a different story, but basically the ulcerative colitis had led to the point where the doctors thought in my father that his bowel was going to become cancerous, so they removed it. And then during the process of him having his bowel removed, because it's obviously a very important organ, he just got incredibly sick and was nearly died too. And it was a really traumatizing experience when I was a kid. But Matt Monarch here has obviously, he's a raw food guy. He's tried to eat his way to healthiness, and it just hasn't worked.
Part of the Steam It post, giving these cards away. Here is actually that banner right now. Here, you guys can take a look at it. So here's the banner of me holding up alpha cards. I was just going to give them away to everybody for free. But then I became super sick. And I almost died. I literally was in the hospital. They had to rejuvenate me. Here are some images of me of being 96 pounds. I literally went down to 96 pounds, was in the hospital, almost died, refusing meds, being a stupid idiot. And I just forgot about Steam It. I forgot about Steam Monsters. And I just let it go. Now, I'm not like, I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm not like a religious, I don't go to church or anything like that. But I believe in Jesus Christ. And this all kind of started happening when I started believing, whatever. But what happened was, it's kind of like the story of Job in my life. It was like a test. It was almost like I started believing, then I lost everything. I had millions of dollars. The devil, I literally met in person. This guy who worshipped the devil took everything from me. My health, I almost died. It was just like the story of Job. I lost all my money. I gave up everything. I was willing.
So if you guys are unfamiliar with the story of Job, Job's an Old Testament character out of the Bible who worshipped God. He was a very God-fearing man. And basically, as the story goes, the devil and God are debating with each other whether Job would worship God if the devil took everything away from Job. And God seemed to think that he would, so he gives the devil permission to basically destroy Job's life. And what happens in that story is, I'm going to sort of go through this a little bit quickly, but Job, he was a very rich man, very blessed, had lots of crops, lots of cattle, livestock. The devil kills and destroys all his crops, kills all of his children. He gets boils. The devil affects his health, and Job, through all of this, still keeps praising God. So, Job was one of the richest men in the land at the time, as the story says. Gets all that taken away from him, is left with nothing, is barely breathing. And he continues to praise God despite all of the suffering. Now, in the end of this story, God obviously brings everything back to Job and restores his wealth. And I don't know exactly what Matt's talking about here. It would be good to have more sort of context to it, but it seems as though he was involved with some sort of demonic scene or person, and that person, absolutely scammed him or whatever, and he lost everything because he's saying that he was a multi-millionaire at the time. He was doing all these upvotes on Steam, and he bought this $1,000 worth of alpha packs. So let's see what he has to say.
I gave up my last silver coin, like in the name of Jesus. I lost everything, and my health, my family. But in the story of Job, everything was given back to him ×2. So here I was sick, was rich. Now I'm living on my mom's couch in Granada Hills, California, the San Fernando Valley, and with no money. I thought I was going to go bankrupt. I was literally in a night. I had $3 million to my name, and now I was in a negative $1 million debt. Sick, almost died, and everything like that. Forgot about steam monsters. They say don't hodl, but we'll talk about hodling in a second. I mean, they say that's the old way, whatever. So here I was, refusing drugs, sick, and then I've been on this battle ever since. Now I'm finally learned my lesson. I'm taking the meds. I was literally living in a diaper at a point. Not able to walk anymore. I'm on prednisone right now. I'm about to go on Humira. I could have done this 3 years ago, and I've lost my colon since then. Now I'm all about the medical society. I'm excited to live out my life. I'm in a way worse position now than I could have been if I would have just followed, if I would have done the meds and got medical attention 3 years ago. So I'm finally on my path to health again. I'm walking, I'm doing all this stuff. It's great. About 6 months ago, okay, so here I am on my mom's couch, and I was getting there was still life in my business and my raw food world business, and I started to make it happen again. And I was like breaking even every month, paying off the bills, paying off the debts, and I was suffering for so long, just at break even. But I was like so happy that I was actually able to maintain everything. And then what happened was, Elon Musk starts talking about Dogecoin. And at the same exact time, remember I was talking about Job, everything can be given back. So I took out a PayPal loan against my business. I took all this credit card debt. I put like over $100,000 of debt into Dogecoin at 6 cents. Boom, it explodes. I then learned that my newsletter list was messed up. I wasn't sending to all my newsletters people. My business doubled, tripled. And then 6 months later.
So the Dogecoin at 6 cents, more context there. The way I interpret that is, I remember this very clearly when Doge was sitting around 4 cents, and all of a sudden Dogecoin was such a crap coin. If you've been in the crypto space, and I'm probably going to offend a few people here, but that's fine. It is a crap coin. It's basically a joke coin. Like, it was created by someone as a joke. It was a cryptocurrency that wasn't ever able to go up in value because it was inflationary in nature, and it kept printing the more Doge. It kept printing more and more. It was like money essentially, so it would eventually go to zero. Hasn't. Elon Musk starts talking about it. It's at 4 cents, goes to 8 cents, it did like 2x gain in like 24-hour period at one stage. And then, all the way up until Elon Musk appeared on Saturday Night Live, it nearly hit $1. So if you had got in, like he's saying, at 6 cents, and sold anywhere up until around the time Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live, you would make a lot of money. And by the sounds of it, he threw $100,000 at Dogecoin. So even 2, 3, 4, 5x, which it 15x from the 6 cent mark roughly. He could have walked away with 1.5 million. And there is guys who become millionaires off Dogecoin around a similar time and have similar sort of stories. So, lost his health, lost his colon, lost his business. It would be very difficult to run a business while you're that sick. I've seen it. My father was in hospital for 6 months. I'd imagine Matt went through a similar experience. Invests in Dogecoin. It's insane story. It's just getting even better, this story right now. More than likely 5 to 10x that $100,000. I hope, Matt, for your sake, you've sold that around that time or took some profits. Now he's getting his business on track, and the story continues.
Raw Utah, who was into my stuff on Steemit. He was into the Raw thing, obviously. Raw Utah. He said, Matt, are you Matt Monarch 1975 on Splinterlands Steam Monsters? I'm like, yeah, that's me. He's like, Matt, I'm looking at the top rich list. You have 700 alpha packs just sitting there. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, Matt, do you know what those are worth?
So, how good is that one of the fellow Splinterlands community members has reached out to this guy and noticed from the Splinterlands leaderboards, which is one of the beautiful things about the game, everything's published on the blockchain, so you can see how many assets your fellow community members, your fellow opponents hold. And he's just been lucky enough that someone who's in the same industry and who obviously knows him, I'm guessing through Steam, has reached out to him and said, hey, are you the same dude that is in the top leaderboard for Splinterland assets? This is where the story gets good, guys.
At the time, they were worth one sold for $900, $700, or something like that. I had 700 of them. Now they're going for $200 or $300. I'm waiting for land now.
700 packs that he bought for $1,000. Now one pack is selling for $900, $700. $700 to $900 for one pack. That is a 7 to 900x return. That means that $1,000 is almost $1 million.
And I'm sitting there like, are you freaking serious? I didn't have all my Steemit codes. I was like, crap. So I'm on the Discord Splinterlands group, freaking out. Am I gonna get these cards? And this guy I'm just DMing is helping me step by step. I had one key. I think it was a posting key or something like that. He helped me create a second account, transfer it over, and boom. On top of that, I had 35 gold alpha cards. I don't even know how the hell I got those in my account. SPS from all these alpha cards, just
And shout out to whoever that was that helped him through this process. And that, because that's just, this guy's got $1 million just sitting there. It's like the guys who lose their USB and they had Bitcoin on it from 10 years ago. And now they're trying to dig up tips and stuff because the Bitcoin they had on it's now worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Although this is probably nowhere near the same sort of scale of that. Shout out to you guys for helping this guy recover his assets. So the 35 gold promo cards, I'm guessing are airdrops that he would have got from owning those packs. Because you know how with the Chaos Legion set, you get airdrops for owning a certain amount of packs. Well, he had 700 packs, so I'm imagining that there would have been a similar sort of scheme back then to what they have today.
Tens of thousands of them just all of this overnight was sitting in my account. And I'm like, Jesus, what the hell? It was almost like a joke.
He would have got SPS from all the airdrop points he had from those alpha packs, which was heavily weighted when it comes to airdrop points. He's just been collecting that. This is the thing. So he's got he's got almost $1 million worth of card packs. He's got all those gold foil cards, 35 gold foil from the Alpha series. He's got the SPS, tens of thousands of SPS. SPS was almost $1 at one stage. This is just an amazing story.
$1,000 gift card to Agro is now worth $2, $3, $4, $5, $600,000. Hodling for 3 years. Plus, I got my Dogecoin. I got my business back. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so since then, now that I've been like blown up and everything like that, I've been investing a crap ton of money.
All right, so I'm gonna leave it there, guys, because the rest of this video, I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to check it out yourself. But the rest of it is probably just all stuff that you guys sort of know about. He's obviously, the Splinterland bug has got him real good, because he's now got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Splinterlands assets, and he's overnight become an instant millionaire. So the moral of this story, and the reason I wanted to post it, is this is possible for you guys too, who are invested. It took 3 years. You may have started playing this game 2 months ago and not really seeing the returns. And that's crypto for you. You need to look in a big picture sort of way at this space. You can't look at what's happening on the 1 hour candles or the daily candles. You need to be on monthly and yearly candles to really see the gains. This is one of many Splinterlands whales out there. People who've been playing this game since the beginning and invested. He invested $1,000, guys. And I think Agro would give him a pretty good deal on that, because I don't know what it was for alpha packs. Maybe they were $1 or $2 at the time, but nevertheless, he's a Splinterlands whale, and now probably going to be one of the biggest evangelists for this blockchain based game, based off the real world wealth that he's built from playing it. And there's many others out there. If you guys follow Clove, if you guys follow Dwayne Cunningham on YouTube, Gank's another early investor. Those guys, they've all got just hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Splinterlands assets, and it's just amazing. And that's what sort of got me into the game. And I've seen my assets grow in value. I've been playing this game for a year now. And I'm hoping over the next couple of years, I'm really bullish on SPS. I think that's probably the next thing that's we're going to really see these sort of 100x sort of gains is probably going to be SPS, because you earn more SPS for owning SPS. Gives you voting rights, you're earning vouchers for owning SPS, but that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And I'm sort of sharing this story as inspiration to those guys who are in this space and in this game to just keep hanging in there, even if you just stop playing the game for 3 years and forget about it and come back in 3 years time. I'm sure every dollar you've spent in the Splinterlands space will be money well invested. So this is Toppy from Top Crypto. If you've liked anything that I've said here today, if you're still watching this video to this point, obviously you're interested in my content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to, share content that's interesting and, Splinterlands or crypto related. And any support you guys give me is greatly appreciated, guys. So thanks. Have a good weekend.
stop by later, maybe I'm gonna fix something tea. You wanna grab something from the street, bring it home? But